Hey, welcome back to Clean Cut, where we can talk about the truth about just about anything, as long as we use logic and common sense. This season, we're looking at the miracles of Jesus to see what they can tell us about God and His promises to the faithful. Last time, we talked about the healing of the blind, deaf, and dumb, how Jesus is able to grant abilities that it's proper for people to have, even if we're born without them. Today, the healing of the lame and the paralyzed. Both lameness and paralysis are restrictions of our power of movement, though to different degrees, so it's just as well to address them together.
And there was a certain man there that had been 38 years under his infirmity. Him, when Jesus had seen lying, and knew that he had been now a long time, he saith to him, Wilt thou be made whole? The infirm man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pond, for whilst I am coming another goeth down before me. Jesus saith to him, Arise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and he took up his bed and walked, and it was the Sabbath that day.
John 5:5-9. This verse is about a man who was suffering under physical lameness. He wanted to be healed, so he went to a pool called Probatica, where it was believed that an angel would sometimes cause the waters of the pool to move, and when that happened, the first person into the pool would be healed. The only problem was he was lame, so he was never the first one to get to the water when it happened. Then Jesus speaks to him and heals him, and that's all it takes. Suddenly he can pick up his bed and walk after almost 40 years of not being able to, no physical therapy required.
And behold, there was a woman who had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and she was bowed together, neither could she look upwards at all, whom when Jesus saw, he called her unto him, and said to her, Woman, thou art delivered from thy infirmity. And he laid his hands upon her, and immediately she was made straight, and glorified God.
Luke 13:11-13. This was a different kind of lameness. This woman could walk, but couldn't straighten up her back or even look up. Jesus touches her, and her condition is completely healed. And they came to him, bringing one sick of the palsy, who was carried by 4. And when Jesus had seen their faith, he saith to the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins are forgiven thee. I say to thee, Arise, take up thy bed, and go into thy house. And immediately he arose, and taking up his bed, went his way in the sight of all, so that all wondered and glorified God, saying, We never saw the like. Mark 2:3-5-11-12. Palsy is a term used to refer to paralysis, often accompanied by a weakness and loss of feeling. The man clearly had no chance of getting up on his own, which is why his friends carried him in. Jesus not only heals his paralysis, but forgives his sins too. As with blindness, deafness, and muteness, lameness and paralysis are limitations and weaknesses that people sometimes suffer under, and just like blindness, these are very difficult, if not impossible, to cure on our own. Jesus, however, is able to cure them quickly, showing that he's willing and able to offer freedom of movement to the faithful, and that in heaven, no one will need to suffer under these kinds of weaknesses. Next time, healing deformities. That's all for now, so keep asking questions, and thanks for watching.